What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kthulhu, and if you have the unlucky fate of being a part of Gen Z, you have undoubtedly heard the many complaints from the older generations about us. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that all of it is unwarranted, because that would just be deflecting criticism, but I will say that it is kind of hypocritical to have people that have ruined the world for us to come and then judge us for how we operate in this new environment that they created. Not to mention the fact that a lot of the criticisms I've been hearing feel like they're targeted more towards Gen Alpha as opposed to Gen Z, making me think that they don't even know where the generations start. Like, a lot of us are in our late 20s heading to our 30s. We are not children. So today, I wanted to go through some of the criticisms I've been seeing and just kind of rebuttal some of the details. Before we get into it, if you end up liking the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the sub button, hit the bell, left a like, left a comment. All these things go a long way for me and they help me out a ton.
Things millennials grew up with that would send Gen Z into a coma. Not having GPS on our phones. So that meant when we needed directions to go somewhere, we actually had to get to a computer, go to mapquest.com, print out the directions, and then hope our friend was able to dictate those directions to us in a safe way on our way to wherever we were going, which is usually we weren't going anywhere good. But that also meant that our parents never knew where the hell we were. So that meant we could say, hey, I'm spending the night at Sarah's house, but really you were at some 19-year-old townie's apartment and drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade. Next is flip phones. Like, our phones literally bent in half. And then when we hung up, we went...
At this point, it feels like it has to be rage bait, because I was born in '99 and I've definitely used MapQuest, and my first phone was a Nokia 3310 with Snake and no camera, so I don't know why you act as if we are not a part of the same generation. We're basically just a little bit away from each other. We may have grown up with the internet and these things, but it doesn't mean that we have not had access to older technology.
And I just saw some shit that said millennials are childish and they're more childish than Gen Z, and it's specifically ages between 30 and 35. And I just gotta say, I think y'all are jealous. I think the ages of 30 to 35 and sometimes 36 and a little bit of 37, we actually had childhoods. We was outside. Baby, I was on the block. I was on Foursquare, Tag, Cops and Robbers, fucking hide, go get it. You know what I'm saying? We played. We was outside having a fun time. We actually had friends. We was outside. The whole block knew who we were. The neighborhoods knew who we were as kids because we was always outside playing. Didn't nobody had time to be in the house on the phone looking at social media because we didn't have that back then. We didn't have that. We were the social media. So y'all spent y'all time in the house, so y'all seemed so grown because y'all was always in the house with the adults or online playing games with adults on fucking all them social medias looking at adults. We were kids. We had a great time as kids, and our fun and imagination just kind of developed throughout the years. That's why we're so fun now. The years of 30 to 35, we're fun as fuck. You cannot tell us that we're not fun as people. We like to have a good time because we know what good times were as a kid, and we just imagine, I can't wait to get a dog. I'm gonna have fun, and look at us out here having fun, and y'all jealous of it. Y'all bitches are jealous y'all didn't have childhoods. Blame social media.
Now, I feel like this video is a little counterintuitive because I feel like you're trying to prove that you're not childish, but it's actually proving that you're more childish than you would like to admit. And yet again, it seems another person who just does not know the distinction between generations. Because as an older Gen Z, I can definitely say we were playing outside. We was playing tetherball, we was playing Foursquare, we was just roaming around with our friends, so we definitely had a childhood. And I find it absolutely wild for you to sit there and be like, oh, we were outside while y'all was in the house. Why were we in the house? I asked that question. Could it have been because of all of the news stories coming out about adults just doing kids bogus, from the kidnappings to the murders to all of the just wicked shit that y'all were doing to kids, making our parents fear for us, not allowing us to leave? I feel like that might have been part of it. Now, I will admit, social media definitely has a part to play in us growing up quicker than we needed to, because I wasn't even 9 years old the first time I watched a live leak video, and if you know what a live leak video is, you know that that is some scarring shit. Not to mention the fact that you had social media like YouTube and Facebook just pushing this narrative that you had to be successful and you had to blow up real quick, and if you weren't doing this and that by this age, then you were a failure. So yeah, a lot of us did take that into account. But at the end of the day, I asked the question, who created social media? I'll wait.
You guys have no personality whatsoever. Okay, this is how this started. At Five Guys, favorite restaurant. And my son likes to get a grilled cheese with bacon inside. They forgot the bacon, so like I brought it back, and I'm like, this Gen Zer working the register, and I'm like, very nice, because I just got out of church, so I'm extra nice, okay? And I'm like, you guys forgot the bacon on my son's grilled cheese. And she's like staring at me, like almost laughing, like it's funny, like something's funny. So I took a breath, and I almost threw it at her face at that point. But again, I just got out of church, and I'm like, not trying to be that person. But I wanted to throw the grilled cheese in her face. And I'm like, is something funny? Like, you forgot, like, can you just get me a new one with bacon in it? And my husband's like, calm down. They're just, they're young kids. Like, I'm sorry. And then this isn't all Gen Z, but like, even on this app, like all their, like, they narrate their videos and they're like, what? What are you saying? Speak up. Like, no personality, not a blick of personality in their bodies. Like, is this because they were raised with like iPhones? I don't know. But like Gen Z, like, get with it. Yeah, I'm jealous because I'm old. I'm like 42 and in perimenopause. Like I'm like a crabby old lady at this point. But like Gen Z, dude, like step it up. Get a personality.
Now, I don't want to be the one to judge, but I'm going to judge. I highly doubt you were nice about your approach, given the fact that you said you wanted to throw a sandwich at a young worker because they forgot to give you bacon. That seems a little unhinged for a 40-year-old woman. And then somehow you delve into some rant about how we have no personality because somebody messed up your order. How does that correlate whatsoever? This is exactly what I mean. I feel like a lot of their complaints don't have any merit to them. It's just them wanting to punch down at the younger generation because the older generations punch down on them. Like, I feel like because of the fact that that happened to you, you should be aware of what that feels like and what it does to somebody, so you should not be doing it to other people. But instead, you take that hatred and try to just keep on spreading it. Very Christian of you. Needless to say, I think we do have a personality. From the trends we develop to the friends that we make, personally, I have made many of friends from my generation and the older generation based off my personality, while meeting older people who have the personality of a saltine cracker, and I can sit here and try to be like, oh, the older generation has no personality, but I'm not going to do that because that's a false narrative. Personality is a case-by-case study. It's not just generational. It seems insane to think that these people are older than us by 10 to 15 years, and they have the comprehension of a toddler. It is absolutely insane.
What would you say is the worst thing about the younger generation, you feel?
They've got no respect.
Why?
The way they're brought up, they think everything's for free. The work ethic and respect has gone right out the window, unfortunately.
Spend all the time on social media. They'd rather look at the phone and the laptop than they would joining in the Christmas celebrations. I think that it's making people very unsociable, younger people, and I think that it is spoiling things, and I think a lot of them are becoming very selfish. I think a lot of them are immature, and they look at too many different things, and a lot of it, as Donald Trump says, is fake news.
Now with this one, I can agree a little bit. My generation do be wilding out a little bit, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge the fact that we're not the ones to deal with the same societal standards that you guys had for other generations and just to blindly follow. I'm not gonna just respect you just because you're older than me. You kind of have to give the same respect that you want me to give you. Only people I blindly respect are my parents, and if you ain't birthed me, you don't get that luxury. And it's very ironic to talk about our work ethic when you could work 40 hours and manage to buy a house and take care of your family for pennies. Meanwhile, most of my generation is working 2 jobs and can't even pay rent. We're dealing with the consequences of your actions, so excuse us if we're not respectful and happy all the time. I am so tired of these old crazens looking at us and complaining about our phones so much because y'all were outside playing until nighttime. Nobody complained about what y'all were doing. We're doing the same thing, just in an updated fashion, and God forbid we have a little bit of fun. Everybody has something to say about what it is we're doing. Not to mention the fact that you said, oh, they don't want to join in on Christmas dinner. Maybe it's because y'all are kind of insufferable when it comes to talking to. Maybe it's because y'all are not willing to hear people out and are very hyper judgmental. So why would I want to sit and have a conversation with somebody that's going to make me feel like I'm doing something wrong all the time? Like, it takes a little bit of nuance to look within and wonder why people don't want to interact with you. It's not the generation. It might just be a you thing.
I grew up with everything. Thank the Lord, just like you grew up with everything. Okay, son, you don't know how we were eating back in our days. We're using $10 of gas in our car, eating ramen noodle soups, and eating migas with it.
No, you weren't.
No, my mom always gave me everything. I'm not saying that, but when I got married to her dad.
When you act like that, really?
Now this one immediately had me cracking up because she's complaining about, oh, we used to fill our car with $10. $10 was a full tank back in the day. We can't do anything with $10. You said, oh, we were eating ramen noodles. We're still eating ramen noodles, and we can barely afford that. Not to mention the fact that she immediately double backed and said, oh, but my mother took care of me. We were taken care of. Our parents struggled to take care of us, and now that we're adults, we can't even take care of ourselves. So how are we supposed to have any luxury or any privilege that you speak of? How are we supposed to move out? How are we supposed to take care of ourselves? Make that make sense. Please add it up.
Okay, so I just have something to say really fast. Can we bring back old people when it comes to a work environment? I don't like working with young people. I don't. Working with young people is the worst thing that's ever fucking happened. Can we bring back some class? Can we bring back the old motherfuckers that gave a fuck about certain things? I hate being interviewed by these young motherfuckers. Why is you chewing gum in my face, picking up the phone, talking about some hold on? Why is you telling me to tell you a funny fucking joke? Why is you conversing with, where's the seriousness? You know what I'm saying? Where's the hiring on the spot? Why do I have to go through 5 different motherfuckers to go to an interview for a server position? Huh? Okay, let's go be a guard. 40 hours unpaid training. Who the fuck is you talking to, my boy? Who the fuck you talking to, nigga? Who the fuck you talking to? The fuck you niggas talking about? Oh, you have to be certified in this, and this.
I mean, I could ask you the same thing. Why are you chewing gum, smacking it all up in my ear while you're making a video? Not to mention the fact that, okay, excuse us for wanting to make you feel comfortable during an interview process. We're done with the whole having to be so strict and hoity-toity about everything because we understand that people are human beings. You're sitting here complaining as if we're the ones that make the rules. We don't hire on the spot. That doesn't go through us. It has to go through someone else. And then for you to complain about unpaid training and all of that, guess what? That's company policy. That has nothing to do with the younger generation. You're literally blaming the younger generation for nothing that we can do about a situation when in all reality, it's your own damn fault. How are you in your 30s and you ain't got no credentials? This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's a literal insanity. We're getting blamed for shit that we have no hand in whatsoever, but somehow it's our fault? What are we talking about?
Telling me a car's necessary?
Of course it's necessary.
Why?
Because we live in an era where cars are necessary to get around.
Why?
Because we do. That's just the point.
Young people face harder challenges than previous generations.
So I live with my parents, and I'm 23.
Right.
And
You work?
Yes.
Yeah. Presumably you're not paying any rent or mortgage or anything.
I am paying rent.
When I first got my first house, it probably only cost about £23,000 or something, but then I was only earning £300 a year. We worked hard and we didn't have a car and we didn't have a colour telly. I think there's a sense of entitlement there that they expect to have things like cars, holidays, phones, a certain standard of living, which they haven't earned.
So I will say, this young lady did an awful job at articulating that point, so let me clear it up a bit. The reason why we need a car in this day and age is because of the automotive industry. Because of the fact that cities were designed around the automotive industry to make it more profitable, a lot of our modern cities require you to have a car. Because tell me why it takes me roughly probably like 15 minutes to get to where I need to go if I was walking in a walkable city, but because of the layout of highways and structures, Now it's an hour and a half, 2 hours just to get to that same location. That is why we need cars in this day and age. Because one of the first things they ask you when you get ready to get a job is, do you have a stable means of transportation? And for them, that means a car. The bus is not good enough. Not to mention, a lot of the buses in these cities are absolutely abysmal. So yeah, if you want to work and be a productive member of society and be able to take care of your needs and necessities, you're gonna need a car. Now I will admit, this next part definitely had me a little angry, because it feels like the older generation has been absolutely brainwashed into thinking that everybody has to work themselves to death just to be able to live a decent life. This is gonna sound mighty communist, socialist, Marxist, whatever you want to say. It's gonna sound like that. I think that everybody should have the right to live a decent life. You should not have to fight tooth and nail just to be able to afford regular things. People need cars, okay? I'm not saying they deserve them per se, but given the state and the climate that we're in, people need cars. People need phones to get into contact with employers and things of the such. So that is another need. Holidays, I would go as far as to say that is a need, because burnout is such a real thing in the older generation that they don't even realize it. A person will be on the edge of depression, ready to suction start a shotgun, and then wonder why they're at that place. It's because you don't give yourself the luxury of being able to kick back and relax every now and then. Not every day is meant to be a working day, and I think that we need to get that through our heads. Like, people back in the day used to work only when they needed to. If you were a farmer, you went out, you did what you needed to do during the day, you came back and spent the rest of the day with your family. You were a carpenter, you did as many projects as you could throughout that day, came back, did the same thing. But due to industrialization, we feel that we have to be working every single moment, and if we're not, then we're not doing anything. We're being lazy, we're wasting time, and at the end of the day, it's not even worth it because we're not seeing the benefit of it. The corporate leaders are. Tell me, why am I gonna burn myself out, break myself down, and basically kill myself just so somebody that is richer than me can continue to become richer? I can't own my first home till I'm in my late 50s, but they're on their 7th or 8th home, and I'm okay with that? I should be okay with that? That makes no sense. There's a reason why people are becoming quote-unquote lazy. It's because we're just tired of seeing the unfairness in the industry. I can feel my cortisol levels spiking already because I've had this conversation so many times with the older generation, and they try to attribute it to like, oh, we're being lazy, not realizing that we are in an entirely different climate. What we're dealing with is nothing like anything they've ever dealt with in their lives. And I can tell you, yeah, they've dealt with their trials and tribulations, and I won't take that away from them. But for them to try and take that away from us after they're the ones who did it to us is absolutely wicked work. Now, my ending conclusion, my ending statement, I'm gonna say, I don't think Gen Z is as lazy or as carefree or as disrespectful as people try to make us seem. I think at the end of the day, we're just misunderstood, and y'all aren't taking the time to try and understand us. So at that point, there's such a disconnect between us that it'll never be solved. So if you want to maybe understand the younger generation, have a sit down, have a little talk with them, and don't be judgmental. Don't shut them down immediately. Actually hear out what they have to say. Now that's been my time. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch y'all in the next one.